Anyway, all right, what do you got there, Brian? It's your show.
It's your show, thankfully.
Huh?
Thankfully, it's your show. I had a function last night. I'm a
fuck.
little off.
You sounds like you had a malfunction at the junction.
Steve Sack.
Yes, Steve Stack the place was the junction in San Antonio. I never saw that place, but it didn't look like to me like it would fit in your pantheon of great wrestling arenas.
You know, it's one thing to call it the junction. It's hard to like envision pulling up and seeing a sign that says the junction.
I think, was it a bar or of some description? We're talking about where they used to do the wrestling TV show in San Antonio, Southwest Wrestling, folks.
That was one of the first things when I started trading tapes in the early 90s. I got some Southwest, and it really fucked me up because it was the period of time where the Spanish announcer was right on top.
Yeah, no.
So they were literally next to each other doing commentary of two different feeds of the show, and then they would only stop to interview the wrestlers, and then it would pick back up. But it was bleeding complete. It wasn't even bleeding. It was right next to him.
No, that's the thing. And again, folks, the San Antonio show, that's a heavily Hispanic market in South Texas. And they were bringing in names that the Lucha fans would know on the cards back then, especially in the late 70s, early 80s. And what Brian is talking about, a lot of people haven't seen studio television of any. Imagine in the TV studio kind of setting, there are two men standing 6 feet apart from each other, talking into a handheld microphone, and they're both speaking two different languages. And that's the thing, is that because they had to have a soundtrack to send their show to the Spanish station that they had wherever they had it. And at the same time, the people in San Antonio who spoke English had to know what was going on. But it was so primitive, they couldn't even separate them. And then remember, they'd stand on each side of the guy when he's doing the interview.
Yeah.
And hold the microphone to him.
Because that's when you'd be like, oh, I'm not crazy. There is another guy there talking right there.
Yeah. But it was distracting. Anyway,